So blogging. A lot of people think if you're a corporate America that you have one blog. That's not true. You can have a personal blog. The CEO of the company could have a blog. You could have an intranet blog where you have the company talks within itself of, suggestions and ideas. Instead of having an idea box, you have a blog that, talks to the clients. You could have a blog that's related to project management where everybody can interact with that project. Customers can blog for you. You can have a service blog. You can have, a commenting blog. There's so many ways that you can use blogging today. And blogging also is good for links. So if you do something over here, it goes back to your organic listings because these, if you connect it correctly and you know how to use the viral market, it can be very, very helpful for your organic search engine optimization. So that's a really good tool. Podcasting and video casting is another way to get your message out there. If you know how to optimize any of these things, optimizing means that you know how to tag it correctly so that when it becomes viral, people that search on it can actually find that, like a podcast that's related, let's say, to internet marketing. If you're searching internet marketing, your podcast comes up. So people can then hear that. If you have a video cast, they can see the movie on that subject. So a lot of this stuff is not just doing it, but understanding how to optimize it correctly so that it works for you in some other area that you're trying to connect it to. We do a thing called online reputation management, and the internet has created as much good stuff as created some monstrous stuff. For example, if you've done anything legally that has gotten in front of a court and you had a court appearance and there was some decision that was made, it is on the internet. So someone, they just post it to the internet in a lot of legal arenas. So when someone looks at your name, even though you may be a business person, and this is a real warning to a lot of you, is you may do something stupid and you think, oh, well, it doesn't affect me. But basically, it is indexed and archived forever on the internet, forever. So if it's there, and it's in a legal document, and it has your name on it, somebody Googles your name, it comes up. So what we do with people, some people call us and they say, I've been a doctor for 20 years, and I did something 10 years ago, and every time people Google my name, that comes up first. What can I do? Well, the only thing you can do is push it down. You can create more data on top of it that comes up higher than it, so that it goes to page 2 or 3. There's really no way that you can get rid of it, but you can certainly make it go away from page 1. And that's what we do. We help clients. There's a lot of different ways that we can do that and strategies that we have to help these people if we can. I mean, sometimes it's something that there's just no way. It just has so much what we call teeth that it's just so entrenched that there's just no way to get rid of it. But that's a fair thing that somebody wants, is they don't want their reputation ruined because of one thing they did, a stupid thing they did maybe 10 years ago, and maybe something that wasn't even true. We had one client that the thing that was there wasn't even a true thing. It happened to his partner, not him, but his name was associated with it, and so, his reputation was equally ruined. I mean, what can you do? Excuse me?
So what would you tell Governor Spitzer?
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, you have your photo sharing sites, your video sharing, information sharing. And, again, I think this is where you could set up a profile. If you're a business person, you could set up a profile. You can tag, optimize, YouTube, Flickr, all of these properties are really wonderful for link building and for getting your message out. And they all help with organic search. So it's all connected to organic search. And then you have your social networking, Facebook, MySpace, LinkedIn, all of those sites where they actually work in 2 ways. They work inside, where you can be a member of that community. And for a marketer, they work outside, where you try to get inside of the community with some message. Today, social media is not one of the biggest return on investment. In other words, you may end up putting something up there and getting a lot of people to see it, but they're not going to buy your product. They may just do it because of the outrageous, maybe you have an outrageous film on YouTube, and everybody says, oh, that's great, but how does that really relate to your product? So you may get 1,000 views an hour, or 100,000 views an hour even, and it doesn't mean anything because you don't get any, there's no like monetary results. You're not going to get clients out of it. They're just going to say wow or pass it on or isn't that great, but you're not really, you don't get the return that you get from search where someone's looking for your product or service. They're in a whole different mode. Here they're in kind of mode of, you know, outrageousness. Show me something that's really outrageous and I'll make it travel, but that doesn't mean you're going to really, you know, sell something or have people buy your product. So that's the social, and then social bookmarking. A lot of you understand that. Basically, years and years ago in my day, we had something called favorites. And so if you go onto your favorites and you list all your favorite sites and everything, that was wonderful. But today with social bookmarking, it means that if I share my favorites, everyone in the world can see my favorites. And if somebody likes my favorites, they can move those favorites onto other people and let it travel. So that that's how those things work, is that it's become a more of a openness in the marketplace today, where your identity, your profile is really exposed and travels more than just even a year ago. And then you have the social news sites. Social news sites where not only do you have voting, but you also have content that's somewhat outrageous as well, but sites like Dig. I think the real thing about a site like Dig is, and a lot of these sites, by the way, have people, if some of you are bloggers and have your own presence, or you're on Dig, you can become what they call ranked digger. A ranked digger is a person who has an authority on that site, so when they put a post out, people go to the post. So they almost become like a marketer in their own space because they have a ranking. And you know, you don't have to have a degree to be a ranked digger. You just have to do it a lot and know how that network works. And it can actually lead to money for you, because people might pay you to put a Dig post out for them under your name, and it gets the attention. Typically, Dig, you could get 100,000, 200,000 people in one day, 24 hours. And there's a lot to be said about, if you want to do something like that, you can crash your server very easily. So then it wipes out anything that you did that was good. You now lost all of that, and you know, it means nothing. So you have to be very careful when you use some of these sites for marketing, because it may just turn out to be very costly and you don't get any results. Especially if your server crashes, you lose everything that you worked to gain. So there are ways that you can, if you want to do that, read a lot about it to begin with, because they have a lot online. Everything that you need here is all online if you want to study it, and basically learn how to do it before you make a big mistake and do it incorrectly. So that's kind of the big picture. And again, the reason I wanted you all to see the big picture is there's a lot of pieces of this. The real key that we look at is the integration of all these pieces, understanding business, understanding marketing, understand the internet, and understand how it can be used as a wonderful tool for advertising and marketing.